Shocking CCTV footage has captured the moment that Bridgerton actress Genevieve Chenneour had her phone stolen before she bravely fought back against the thief.
Yeah, sadly, it's a case that's becoming all too common. Nearly 1 in 3 people in the UK have had their mobiles stolen, with the number of phone thefts doubling in the last 5 years alone.
Genevieve is here now to share the terrifying incident alongside former Chief Superintendent Parm Sandhu. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, nice to see you. When you look at the footage, it's almost unbelievable, Genevieve.
I know. When I first saw it, it was shocking because I don't even remember my reaction, and I thought it was way longer than it actually was. That moment before anything happened, I thought it was about 20 seconds. It was milliseconds.
Split seconds,
yeah.
And you decided to make that decision. Do you remember anything about what happened just before he tried to take your phone?
Yeah, you know what? I had a bit of a sixth sense that something wasn't quite right. You know, as a woman, you have that kind of intuition, and I could feel people moving around me in a different way, but I only became aware of it once the incident had happened and in hindsight. But I did feel they were going back and forth trying to find a target, so they chose me.
So they'd been scoping out the various customers in the coffee shop for a while, working out who they could attack. I mean, it's amazing watching it happen because you react so quickly. It's clearly instinct takes over. What do you make of the fact that that was your instinct, just to try and grab him and then to force him to get your phone back?
I mean, I don't know if I would advise anybody else to do it. I think I have very quick reactions thanks to having 3 brothers growing up. And I'm an ABA carded boxer. So I think it just was an instinct. Also do a lot of fight training for work in acting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what came over me. I thought that was a normal reaction, and then I read all the comments and realised actually a lot of people would just let them take the phone.
Yeah.
Well, we see a small snapshot. There's somebody else that helps you who's in the coffee shop as well. But you were saying, actually, the incident went on for a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
And you end up on the floor, holding him down on the floor.
Yeah, it was about 5 minutes, I think, I've been told, and it kind of went round the corner and it turned into like a full-on scrap with 2 people. And
because he had someone with him as well?
Yeah, and I was, you know, threatened with being stabbed. So it became a real matter of, in my mind, life and death. So I did things like, I remember kicking him back with my leg to create space in case he had a weapon on him. Yeah, it was just a life-changing, crazy moment.
And when you say whether he had a weapon on him, he has done this before. And actually, there's footage of him with a machete.
I know. Have you seen the picture?
Yes. So he'd done this before, hadn't he?
Yeah, to Aled.
Yeah, Aled Jones.
Aled Jones, who I've been in touch with, yeah.
And what had happened to Aled?
I mean, we just both agreed that it was like an awful thing, but I mean, I can't speak for him.
I mean, he
But
stole
he took
Alec's
his
watch,
watch.
didn't he?
Yeah,
He took his watch.
yeah.
And then I think
Threatened
he ended up in a youth detention centre after he attacked Aled back in 2023. So he has form for doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly you managed to fight back and you are safe and you're OK physically, but how did it affect you emotionally and mentally, Genevieve?
I mean, it opened up so many conversations with people that I know and don't know, and I've been really made aware of how many people are living with that anxiety, men that have had their phones stolen and women. So I can only talk for a woman's perspective, but I do know that men are dealing with that same level of anxiety. But,
because that happened to you afterwards. You didn't want to go outside, did you?
Yeah, I didn't want to go outside. I mean, and as a woman, we're already, I think, have our wits about us.
Yeah.
Around strangers and random men. So to have this happen to me while dealing with that probably base level that a lot of women have just made me quite agoraphobic. Yeah, leaving the house was really hard.
And now when you think back with hindsight, would you do the same thing again? Or would you think twice about it? Because as you said before, you just don't know. Does he have a knife? Does he have some form of weapon?
Exactly. And I mean, that he looks, I mean, like maybe 20. I thought he was kind of an idiot, you know, harmless. But after seeing the picture with him with a machete, I realised, like, wow, there is not one look for someone that's dangerous. It can be anybody, and anybody that's willing to do that might be willing to take it further, so...
I mean, Parm, Genevieve's at pains to say, look, she wouldn't recommend someone else does this. It was instinct that took over, and fortunately, she's been trained in a way that she understands that making a bit of distance, and she has some sort of combat experience. But it is on the rise, and we are all susceptible to exactly what happened in that shop, aren't we?
Genevieve was very brave and I commend her for that, but I would not recommend that anybody fights back. It just isn't worth it. Yeah. And where you covered the areas around the stress and the anxiety afterwards, it affects everybody. And one of the things that I came across in my own experience was that when a man is mugged or has their phone stolen, they're less likely to ask for help because they're supposed to be roughy-tufty and they're supposed to be able to cope with it. But you do get that that fear of coming out of the house, and especially with men, they won't admit that they need help, and they quite often they get isolated. They have the lack of help, and they are in their homes, and they can't actually say this is as a result of what happened to me. But unfortunately, mobile phone theft is on the increase. There's been around 150% increase for Home Office figures just over the last year. And over the last year, there was 100,000 mobile phones stolen. 78,000 of them were in London. And so when you talk about going about your business, you're not necessarily walking in a dangerous area or in an area where you feel insecure. You are sitting there, you're relaxing, you're having a coffee, or you're out with friends, or you're using your mobile phone. You don't expect it to happen to you. But unfortunately, as you say, it's happening to more and more people, and we all need to not take responsibility, but we need to protect ourselves and make sure that we are not the next target. But please, the one thing I would say is don't fight back, because you are worth more than your mobile phone. The injuries that you could end up with, and Genevieve mentioned the fact that you don't know what these people are carrying. They could have a knife, they could have a syringe, they could have any other weapon that they can use on you. And if you are the person who's standing between them and their freedom, they are going to kick, punch, use anything that's around them to try and escape and evade that capture. So please just give them your phone, and then there are steps you can take after your phone is gone to protect your data, because this isn't just about the mobile phone. This is about having access to your personal data, to your mobile phone apps that activate your bank accounts, your identity details. There are things that you can do.
Yeah, the phone's a gateway to so many other things.
Yeah. So first of all, tell us how we protect ourselves from not having our phone stolen, then give us the advice for if it is.
OK. When you're using your mobile phone, try and use it so that you can see around you, so that nobody can come up behind you on a bike or run past you and grab your phone. One of the things that I found is where you can get your mobile phones with the covers, with the little straps on, really effective. Really effective, because if you've got a strap around your wrist as well, it's harder for them to snatch it and run. Always be aware that these people don't work alone. They generally have another person. And if that person is getting into trouble with you, the second person is likely to step in, which is why I say give them the phone. So be careful where you use it. If you can use headphones or buds or something, that is a safe way, because then your phone's in your pocket. They're less likely to go for you. If and when your phone has been taken or lost, contact you. All of us have got an IMEI number, which is like a serial number on your phone. If you don't know how to find it, you can look on the internet. For an iPhone, basically, it's under your settings, under general, and you can find your IMEI number. Because a lot of people will say, well, what's that? And where do I find it? Write it down, put it in your house, and just keep it there. If your phone is taken, report it straight away to your service provider. And if you can get onto a laptop and you've got Find My Phone, you can deactivate your phone. You can erase your personal data straight away. But do let your provider know. Contact your bank straight away and say, my phone's been stolen and I had phone access for my mobile data, mobile banking. So there are steps you can take to protect your bank account, your personal data, and also get that phone locked there and then. If you have insurance, let your insurance company know. And one of the things that I would say, report it to the police. A lot of people will say, well, what's the point? I'm never going to get my phone back. And it is unlikely that you're going to get your phone back. But if you report it, that area will then become a hotspot. People will know that that's where the mobile phone theft is prevalent, and resources from police can be allocated to that area. And they may be undercover, they may be in plain clothes, you may not even know that people are there, but it will create a reaction from the local police.
So it does have an impact.
Yes, it does.
Statistics.
How are you doing now, Genevieve?
How am I doing now? I've actually taken a bit of a break from London, and I'm just kind of I've been here for 7 years, working, auditioning, acting, just to kind of have a bit of a reset, because it really did affect my confidence. Yeah, going out the first time I went out afterwards, I remember standing in a queue and just my hands were sweating, and I was so vigilant and aware of my surroundings. So, yeah, just kind of trying to feel calmer.
Yeah,
and
take a minute.
Yeah, which I think is quite hard to do in our industry.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for coming on the show this morning,
sharing
and thank you for talking about it. Thanks, Dr.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.